Hi guys, I'm going to try to explain again how to multiply a decimal by a decimal with the pictorial model so that you can get a better understanding. So if we look at some of the pictures I have here, I'm going to bring in some different models. Okay, we have 3/10 times 1, 2, 3, 4/10. Okay, so when we're looking at this, we see that 3/10 has one place after the decimal point, the 3, and the 4/10 has one place after the decimal point, which is the 4. So our answer, if I were to lay those two on top of each other, I would get a pictorial model that looks like this. So my answer is going to be this part that's overlapping right here. And you can see that when it overlaps, we get smaller pieces. We no longer are using the whole 3/10 or the whole 4/10 because we're taking 4/10 of each of the 3/10. And if you look at that, let's see what color pen I can get to see that. So here's 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10 of the first tenth. 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10 of the second. Here's one of the tenths, two of the tenths, and then I'm taking 4/10 of the third tenth. So 4/10 times 3/10 gives me 12 hundredths. Okay, remember, we're taking a part of a part, so we're going to have a smaller part. Let's look at another example here. There's one model. And my next model. Okay, in my first model, you can see it's almost completely covered. That's 9/10. In my second model, I have times 3/10. Think of it as fractions, if you will. All right, so if it was a fraction, 9/10 times 3/10. Remember, when we multiply fractions, we multiply straight across. 9 times 3 is 27. 10 times 10 is 100. So my answer should be 27 hundredths. Let's bring up our last model. Let me make that a little larger for you. And let's look. So I'm taking 3/10 of each of the 9/10 groups. So that's 1, 2, 3. Let's see if the highlighter works better. 1, 2, 3, 3, 6, 1, 2, 3. There's my 3/10 pieces from each of the 9/10. Okay. 3/10 times the 9/10 equals 27, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 27 hundredths. And so we got as an answer. So 3/10 times 9/10 does equal 27 hundredths. I hope these visuals are helping you a little bit better. Let's look over here. Got some more examples. All right, our first model shows 7/10 times, and if it's hard for you to count, we'll just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6/10. Okay, so we know our answer is going to have 2 decimal places. I have 1 place after the decimal point in this number and another place after the decimal point in my second number. So that means I have to have 2 decimal places in my answer. 6 times 7 is 42. And my 2 decimal places gives me 42 hundredths. If we look at our picture here, we can count. Get my highlighter out again. So we're taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the parts of the 1/10 for each one. And you can see how, because I'm not using the whole thing, I'm taking only a part of a part, so my answer is going to be smaller, and you can see how it gets smaller. And if I count all of these, I will come up with 42 1/100th pieces. All right, my final example. Just a little bit, make that a little bit clearer. All right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tenths again. This time we have, there's only 2 white. I know there's 8, I'm sorry, 10 in total. So that means 8 tenths are purple. I have 2 decimal places to account for, 1 after the 7. I mean, 1 for the 7, 1 for the 8. That's going to give me 2 in my answer. 7 times 8 is 56. 56 hundredths would be your answer. Okay, let's take a look here at our answer for this one. I'm just going to slide this up so we can look at this a little bit larger. So if you were presented with this model and you had to come up with the number sentence, you would simply count how many are going in this direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 tenths. It doesn't really matter which one you count first. Now, if I count in this direction, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 7 tenths. And I'm just going to write it the other way because in case you want to see it the exact way we did it. 8 tenths. So again, I'm going to look at my overlapping section for my answer. If I were to physically count these, you would come up with your 56 hundredths as an answer. So you can tell we're counting by eights. So 8, 16, this should be 24, 32, 40, 48, and 56, because it'd be groups of 8. And I can continue labeling it so we can just double check. Yes. So you see how if I counted and numbered each and every one of these squares, I would get to 56. I hope that explains a little bit better. Let me make this a little bit smaller so you can see everything again. Hope that explains. It helps you understand why we have 2 decimal places when we're multiplying a tenth by a tenth, because our numbers are actually getting smaller. Maybe by seeing it as tenths and then hundredths, that might solve your confusion a little bit. You know how to reach out to me through Google Voice or touch base with me on Schoology. I can answer any other questions you might have. Have a great afternoon, guys.